Did you know Seneca was born in 4 BC? In the heart of ancient Rome, a child named Lucius Annaeus Seneca entered the world at a time when the city was at its zenith. His father, also named Lucius Annaeus Seneca, was a prominent senator and orator, while his mother, Helvia, brought grace and intelligence to their household. Little did anyone suspect that this child would grow up to shape the minds of emperors and philosophers alike. From an early age, Seneca was immersed in the intellectual riches of Rome. He received his education under the tutelage of his uncle Lucius Junius Gallio, who instilled in him a deep appreciation for philosophy and literature. Seneca's father, a man of considerable wealth and influence, ensured that his son received the best possible instruction. This included not only rigorous academic training, but also exposure to the great thinkers of the day. It was during these formative years that Seneca first encountered Stoicism, a philosophy that would come to define his life and work. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, taught at the Painted Porch in Athens, where he laid out the core beliefs of the school. One of these core beliefs was to live according to nature, or physis. This meant accepting and adapting to whatever fate threw at you, whether it was good fortune or hardship. Cleanthes, Zeno's successor as the leader of the Stoic school, further developed these ideas. He emphasized that emotions are something we can control, not something that controls us. These principles resonated deeply with Seneca, who would later become a prominent Roman Stoic philosopher in his own right. His letters to Lucilius, numbering 24 in total, are a testament to his deep commitment to these philosophical ideals. But Seneca's life would be marked by more than just intellectual pursuits. He also held significant political power, serving as a statesman and orator in the Roman Senate. His multifaceted approach to life, combining philosophy, politics, and literature, is what made Seneca a unique figure in ancient Rome. His commitment to Stoicism would come to shape not only his own life, but also the lives of those around him. Seneca's philosophy was also deeply influenced by Stoicism, a philosophy that had emerged during the Hellenistic period as one of the dominant philosophical systems. Stoicism emphasizes practical wisdom, living in accordance with nature, and accepting that which we cannot change. These principles guided Seneca throughout his life and would later inform his approach to dealing with adversity. One of the most important Stoic beliefs is that we should practice thinking about negative events in advance, a concept known as Premeditatio Malorum. This allows us to face adversity with resilience and calm. By understanding Seneca's approach to Stoicism, we can begin to appreciate how these philosophical principles guided his life and work. His commitment to living according to nature and preparing for adversity is a powerful example of the practical application of Stoic philosophy. This context sets the stage for exploring Seneca's approach to dealing with adversity and how his philosophy can offer valuable insights into our own lives. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it helps this channel more than you'd think, and you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. It's the mid-1st century CE, a time when Rome's power is at its peak and the imperial court is rife with intrigue and plotting. Seneca is not merely caught in the political crossfire, he becomes a pawn in a vicious game played by none other than Caligula. In 39 CE, Seneca is sent into exile on the island of Corsica. Corsica is a rugged, mountainous landmass far removed from the Roman world he knows. Yet, Seneca's exile is not merely a geographical shift, it serves as a test of his resilience and adaptability. The mid-1st century CE rolls on, and with the death of Caligula comes a shift in power dynamics. In 41 CE, Claudius ascends to the throne, bringing a new era of stability and calm. Seneca, seizing the opportunity presented by this new era, returns to Rome from his exile. His return is a testament to both his endurance and his ability to navigate political landscapes with wisdom and prudence. Seneca believed that the universe is entirely material and governed by reason and purpose. From this perspective, he saw adversity not as a curse, but as an inevitable part of life's fabric. The purpose of Premeditatio Malorum is to prepare mentally for the worst-case scenarios. By envisioning potential hardships, Seneca sought to build resilience and maintain a clear mind during times of chaos. Imagine facing a storm at sea. Instead of being caught off guard by the tempest, one who practices Premeditatio Malorum has already considered the possibility of such a storm. This mental preparation allows one to respond with calm and clarity rather than panic. Seneca's philosophy is not about avoiding adversity, but about being prepared to face it head-on. By envisioning the worst, one can appreciate the present calm and be better equipped to navigate future storms. This concept extends beyond just personal adversity. It is a fundamental aspect of Seneca's approach to Stoicism and his broader view of life. It serves as a reminder that adversity is not an anomaly, but a part of the natural order. With this perspective, Seneca sought to cultivate a mindset of resilience and fortitude in the face of life's inevitable challenges. This approach to mental preparation is not about fear, but about wisdom and readiness. By embracing Premeditatio Malorum, one can navigate the complexities of life with clarity and composure. This sets the stage for understanding how Seneca coped with adversity during his tumultuous life. In Letter 98, titled On the Fickleness of Fortune, Seneca delves into the idea that our fortunes are as fickle and changeable as the wind. He reminds us that what goes up must come down, and what is high will eventually be low. It's a stark reminder of the impermanence of everything in life. Seneca uses vivid imagery to paint a picture of how fortune can turn on a dime, much like the ever-shifting winds that can either bring a calm or a storm. This letter serves as a poignant illustration of Premeditatio Malorum, to prepare for the worst, knowing that good times will not last forever. By premeditating on evils, we can fortify ourselves against the inevitable storms of life, just as a well-built house withstands strong winds. In another letter, Seneca advises Lucilius to practice poverty even when wealthy, to be prepared if fortune should ever change. This proactive mindset is what makes Stoicism so powerful. It equips us with the mental strength to endure hardships when they arise. His words serve as a beacon guiding us through life's uncertainties, reminding us that the key to resilience is in our mental preparation. Fortune, in Seneca's view, is not a constant companion, but rather an elusive figure that dances in and out of our lives without warning. He believes that understanding the fickleness of fortune is key to navigating life's uncertainties with grace and resilience. Imagine a sailor navigating treacherous seas, constantly vigilant for storms and reefs. Seneca would say that this sailor embodies the spirit of Premeditatio Malorum, always prepared for adversity but never cowed by its possibility. In his letters, Seneca often uses vivid examples to illustrate abstract concepts. He might have written about a wealthy man who suddenly lost all his fortune, or a powerful politician ousted from their seat of authority. These tales serve as stark reminders that no one is exempt from fortune's whims. Through these anecdotes, Seneca teaches us that true security lies not in material possessions, but in our mental fortitude and readiness to face adversity. Fortune may be fickle, but our response can be steadfast. This philosophy of embracing uncertainty with calmness and foresight is a cornerstone of Stoicism. Seneca's teachings on the fickleness of fortune are not meant to discourage, but rather to empower those who follow them. So, the next time you face an unexpected challenge, remember Seneca's words. Fortune may be fickle, but your resilience is unyielding. And in that lies true strength and peace of mind. Marullus is known to have lost his son, an event that deeply affected him. It was during this period of grief that Seneca penned a letter specifically for Marullus. Seneca, who himself had faced numerous personal trials, understood the profound impact of such a loss. He believed in the Stoic principle of Premeditatio Malorum, the preparation for adversity. In his letter to Marullus, Seneca offered empathy and guidance, not merely as a philosopher, but as someone who would walk the same path of loss. He advised Marullus that grief is a natural response to such a deep personal loss, and it should be acknowledged rather than suppressed. Seneca's wisdom on adversity teaches us that resilience is not the absence of pain, but the ability to endure it with strength and clarity. The core message in his letter emphasizes that true fortitude lies in embracing one's emotions without being overwhelmed by them. For Seneca, dealing with loss means accepting the reality of our mortality and finding solace in the memories that remain. Seneca's appreciation for philosophical works is evident in his writing. In this particular letter, he delves into the themes presented by Fabianus, highlighting the importance of understanding and contemplating the ideas put forth by philosophers. He believes that such contemplations are not mere intellectual exercises, but essential tools for navigating life's complexities. By engaging with the writings of Fabianus, Seneca seeks to uncover insights that can guide his own approach to Stoicism. By doing so, one can face hardships with a clear and resilient mindset. Seneca's exploration of Fabianus's writings likely reinforces his belief in the necessity of this mental preparation. Through his analysis, Seneca underscores that philosophical works provide more than just theoretical knowledge. They offer practical wisdom that can be applied in everyday life. The letter serves as a testament to Seneca's appreciation for the philosophical tradition, illustrating his deep engagement with the works of thinkers like Fabianus. Seneca practiced Premeditatio Malorum, a technique of premeditating adversity to prepare for future evils. This approach is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, which encourages anticipating the worst to build resilience. Imagine contemplating all the potential challenges that might arise in your daily life, from minor inconveniences to major catastrophes. Seneca would reflect on these possibilities, not with dread or fear, but with a clear and calm mindset. He understood that by mentally rehearsing these scenarios, he could better navigate them if they actually occurred. This practice was not just theoretical, it had a profound impact on his daily life. By premeditating adversity, Seneca could remain composed even in the most trying circumstances. Premeditatio Malorum was more than just a defensive strategy. It empowered Seneca with a sense of control and preparedness. It allowed him to face each day confidently, knowing that he had already contemplated its potential obstacles. By actively imagining the worst-case scenarios, Seneca could also appreciate and savor the good moments even more intensely. This practice demonstrates the practical use of Stoicism in everyday life. Seneca's approach to premeditating adversity underscores how philosophical principles can be applied not just in theory, but in concrete daily actions. The influence of Seneca's approach to Stoicism has left a significant mark on various fields, including psychology and psychotherapy. Founded by Zeno of Citium, Stoicism emphasizes staying calm under pressure, a principle that has guided many, including George Washington, one of the founding fathers of the United States. Stoicism's core virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, provide a framework for ethical self-improvement that continues to resonate today. Britannica lists Stoicism as one of the loftiest schools of thought in Greek and Roman history, highlighting its enduring relevance. Seneca's writings on Stoic principles have been widely studied and applied in various fields, including psychology and psychotherapy. His practical approach to dealing with adversity has left a lasting legacy that continues to guide us today. As we explore the practical applications of Stoicism, it becomes clear that Seneca's teachings on premeditating adversity remain highly relevant in our modern world. His emphasis on duty, kathekon, in social roles in public life is a cornerstone of his philosophy. Stoicism encourages its practitioners to focus on the things they can control, such as their character and thoughts. For Seneca, this meant daily routines of introspection and self-examination to align one's actions with these principles. He believed that by preparing oneself mentally, one could better navigate the challenges and adversities of life. In today's fast-paced world, where uncertainty is a constant companion, this principle remains highly relevant. By mentally rehearsing adversity and accepting the things we cannot control, we can cultivate a sense of tranquility and resilience. This approach not only helps in navigating daily stresses, but also equips one with a steadfast mindset for facing larger crises. Through this exercise, Seneca believed that one could develop a resilient mindset capable of enduring even the most severe challenges. He believed that by contemplating the worst that could happen, one would be better prepared to face actual adversity. In one of his letters, he wrote about the fickleness of fortune and how it can turn on a dime. He saw this exercise as a way to cultivate inner strength and tranquility in the face of life's inevitable challenges. The practice of Premeditatio Malorum was not just theoretical, it was deeply rooted in his personal experiences. Seneca's own life was marked by both exile and eventual suicide, demonstrating the personal struggle he sought to address through his philosophy. Through his writings, Seneca offers a profound insight into the human condition and the importance of mental preparation. His teachings underscore the value of resilience and the wisdom gained from facing adversity with a calm and prepared mind. Perhaps that is enough for us to reflect on the enduring wisdom of Seneca's practices. Imagine this scene. It's the year 4 BC, and young Lucius, son of Helvia and nephew to the Roman philosopher and orator Lucius Junius Gallio, is beginning his journey into Stoicism. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is living in accordance with nature, or phoesis. This entails accepting both the good and the bad that life throws at you. Picture him in his study, penning these philosophical gems. He would often write about the fickleness of fortune and how to prepare for its inevitable twists and turns. His nightly exercises involved vivid imagery of loss and hardship, a form of negative visualization. Imagine losing a loved one, being exiled to a remote land, or facing financial ruin. These were not just abstract thoughts, but vivid mental images he would conjure up to prepare himself emotionally for the worst. He believed that by rehearsing these mental scenarios, he would be better equipped to handle actual adversity when it came. This approach is not unlike the training regimes of elite athletes who visualize their performances before stepping onto the field. By mentally simulating difficulties and challenges, Seneca sought to cultivate an inner resilience that would remain steadfast no matter what life threw at him. Deepening this understanding of Seneca's approach to adversity through his practice of negative visualization provides us with a powerful tool for navigating life's ups and downs. Resilience, in the context of Stoicism, is not merely about enduring hardships, but also about cultivating one's inner strength through adversity. This premeditation involves visualizing potential misfortunes and accepting that such events are a part of life's unpredictable nature. By mentally rehearsing how to respond to these hypothetical challenges, one can develop a sense of control and calmness when real difficulties arise. This practice is akin to training for an athlete. By envisioning the toughest obstacles, one can be better prepared when those challenges actually occur. Seneca's philosophy encourages us to embrace the reality that life is full of uncertainties and that adversity is inevitable. By understanding this, we can cultivate a mindset that is not only resilient but also prepared to face any challenge with equanimity. This resilience strengthens our ability to withstand the impact of adversity, allowing us to bounce back more effectively and continue living according to nature's design. For Seneca, the role of acceptance in Premeditatio Malorum is profound. By accepting that adversity is an inevitable part of life, we can learn to cope with it more effectively. This doesn't mean we passively endure. Instead, it empowers us to respond thoughtfully and purposefully. Imagine a ship navigating stormy seas. The crew can't control the weather, but they can prepare by securing loose objects, checking equipment, and staying calm. This is akin to Seneca's approach, accepting that storms are part of life at sea and readying oneself to face them with skill and resolve. In one of his letters, Seneca writes about the fickleness of fortune and the importance of being mentally prepared for its fluctuations. He advises us to anticipate both good and bad times, ensuring we are emotionally balanced regardless of our circumstances. This acceptance of life's ups and downs is not about resigning oneself to fate, but rather about equipping ourselves with the tools needed to navigate whatever comes our way. By understanding that we have control over our reactions, thoughts, and attitudes, we can face adversity stoically. Picture a gardener tending to their plants. They know some will thrive while others may wither away despite their best efforts. This gardener doesn't despair at the loss. Instead, they learn from it and apply that knowledge to nurture future plants more effectively. In this way, acceptance of adversity becomes a powerful ally in our pursuit of inner peace and fortitude. Seneca's teachings remind us that, while we cannot control all aspects of life, we can indeed master how we respond to them. So when adversity strikes, as it inevitably will, remember Seneca's wisdom and approach each challenge with a mindset of acceptance. This is key to handling adversity stoically and continuing to live in harmony with nature's design. In one of these letters, Seneca advises that reflecting on the past can reveal patterns and lessons that are often overlooked in the heat of the moment. He argues that when we face adversity, our emotions can cloud judgment. Reflection, done calmly and deliberately, allows us to see situations more clearly. This clarity leads to wisdom, enabling us to navigate future challenges with greater ease and resilience. Consider a soldier preparing for battle. Reflecting on past battles helps identify strategies that worked and those that didn't. This process refines the soldier's tactics and increases their chances of success in future engagements. Similarly, a business leader reflecting on past projects can pinpoint what went right and wrong. This reflection builds their ability to lead more effectively in the future. Seneca believed that wisdom is not merely gained from avoiding misfortune, but from learning from it. Reflection turns adversity into a teacher, sharpening our skills for the next challenge. By regularly practicing Premeditatio Malorum, Seneca taught that one can develop an inner fortitude that remains steadfast in the face of adversity. Seneca's approach was not to fear these potential misfortunes, but rather to become accustomed to them, so they would not come as a shock if they actually occurred. He believed that by imagining the worst-case scenarios, one could develop an inner fortitude that remains steadfast in the face of adversity. Letter 100 is a poignant example of this practice, where Seneca advises on how to cope with the loss of loved ones by considering that death is an inevitable part of life. Seneca's letters are filled with practical advice on how to cultivate this mindset, including the idea of visualizing oneself in difficult situations and reflecting on one's reactions. He emphasizes that this is not about developing a pessimistic outlook, but rather preparing the mind for any eventuality. Seneca saw this practice as a form of mental training that can make one more resilient and adaptable to the unpredictability of life. For him, self-discipline was not just about personal restraint, but also about fortifying the mind to withstand trials and tribulations. It meant envisioning the worst, and rehearsing resilience. Seneca practiced what he preached. He endured years of exile in Corsica with remarkable self-discipline, using the time for philosophical reflection and writing. This demonstrates how self-discipline can transform adversity into opportunities for growth. This self-discipline was crucial for his approach to Premeditatio Malorum. By preparing mentally for the worst, he could face any adversity with clarity and composure. It wasn't about avoiding hardship, but about being ready when it came. In his final hours, Seneca demonstrated extraordinary self-discipline as he calmly carried out his own suicide at the command of Emperor Nero. This act underscored his belief in controlling one's fate even in the face of death. Thus, self-discipline was not merely a virtue for Seneca, but a cornerstone of his philosophy and practice. It equipped him to navigate the tumultuous waters of life with unwavering fortitude and wisdom. And as he once wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Self-discipline helps us bridge that gap. In his life, Seneca faced numerous adversities. He was exiled by Caligula to Corsica, where he spent years in isolation. Yet, through it all, he maintained his composure and resilience. Fortitude for Seneca meant not just surviving these hardships, but also turning them into opportunities for growth. He wrote, "Adversity reveals genius, prosperity conceals it." In the face of adversity, Seneca believed that one should not merely endure, but also strive to learn and grow. This approach to fortitude is deeply ingrained in Stoic philosophy. As he once noted, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Adversity can be turned into a path for self-discovery and improvement. In his letters, Seneca often referred to the concept of euroia bio, the smooth flow of life. Fortitude helps maintain this balance and harmony, even in the face of chaos. And so, through fortitude, Seneca taught that we can not only endure, but also transform our adversities into opportunities for personal growth and understanding. Seneca believed that by premeditating adversity, one could transform challenges into learning experiences. He viewed hardship as a chance to build resilience and cultivate wisdom. Seneca's view of adversity was transformative. Instead of seeing difficulties as obstacles, he saw them as opportunities to practice Stoic virtues such as fortitude and patience. For Seneca, every challenge was a chance to test his philosophical beliefs and to strengthen his character. He saw hardship as a pathway to inner peace and self-mastery. He believed that through Premeditatio Malorum, one could develop a mental resilience that would allow them to face any adversity with calm and composure. Seneca's method of reframing adversity as an opportunity for growth was a practical application of Stoic philosophy that continues to resonate today. Premeditatio Malorum, or premeditation of adversity, was a practice Seneca engaged in regularly. He believed that by mentally preparing for the worst possible outcomes, one could become more resilient to actual adversity. He offered philosophical drills to help Marullus cope with this profound loss. One such exercise involved contemplating the impermanence of all things. Seneca suggested imagining the world as a vast city where everything is constantly changing and nothing remains fixed. By visualizing this dynamic state, Marullus could better accept the transient nature of life. Another drill involved reflecting on the greatness and nobility of Marullus's son. Seneca advised focusing not on the loss, but on the extraordinary qualities of his son's character. These philosophical drills were not passive contemplations, but active mental exercises that Seneca believed would fortify the mind against future adversity. In his letters, Seneca frequently used the concept of Memento Mori, remember death, to prepare himself and others for adversity. In this letter, Seneca reminds Marullus and Lucilius that death is a natural part of life. He argues that understanding the inevitability of death helps us accept our fate when it comes. Seneca believed that by regularly contemplating death, we can better appreciate the present moment and be less fearful of future adversities. He suggests that imagining our own deaths can put our daily troubles into perspective, making them seem less significant. This mental exercise is not about dwelling on the morbid, but rather about finding a sense of calm acceptance in the face of adversity. By acknowledging that death is a part of life's cycle, we can learn to be more resilient and less prone to emotional upheaval. Understanding this approach highlights the role of acceptance in dealing with adversity. Through his words, we see the practical application of Premeditatio Malorum, a Stoic technique aimed at preparing for and accepting misfortune. Seneca reminds Marullus that his son's death should not be a surprise, but rather something he had contemplated and prepared for. He writes, "Remember that you sent him away yourself, entrusting him to a long journey and an uncertain sea." This passage underscores the idea of accepting the inevitability of loss. Yet, through it all, he clung to his Stoic principles, using them as a guide to navigate these difficult times. He believed in the importance of accepting that which cannot be changed and focusing on what can be influenced. By premeditating adversity and accepting the inevitability of loss, one can find solace and resilience even in the face of great tragedy. In this way, Seneca's handling of personal loss becomes a powerful illustration of the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. He emphasizes that our grief and troubles are but fleeting moments in the vast expanse of eternity. Consider how many grains of sand have been washed away by countless tides, Seneca writes, urging us to recognize the ephemeral nature of our struggles. This philosophical technique aims not to diminish our personal losses, but rather to provide a larger context that can help in accepting and overcoming them. By adopting this view from above, Seneca suggests, we can achieve a more balanced perspective on life's challenges. In another letter, addressed to Lucilius, Seneca applies the same principle, urging him to contemplate the vastness of the cosmos. Look up at the night sky and consider the infinite number of stars, he advises. Each star, despite its seeming insignificance, plays a crucial role in the grand design of the universe. This shift in perspective helps to illuminate the interconnectedness and significance of even the smallest elements within the cosmic whole. By applying this metaphorical view from above, Seneca teaches us to find solace and understanding amid our trials, recognizing that they too are part of a larger, more meaningful tapestry. Through these letters, Seneca demonstrates how altering one's perspective can be a powerful tool in managing adversity. By stepping back and considering our problems from a broader, more cosmic scale, we can begin to see them as temporary and manageable parts of life's grander narrative. This technique is not just about philosophical reflection, but also about practical application. Seneca's view from above encourages us to adopt a mindset that sees our troubles within the context of eternity, helping us to navigate through difficult times with greater resilience and acceptance. In essence, Seneca's practice of shifting perspectives allows us to confront adversity not just with Stoic endurance, but also with a deeper understanding of our place in the universe. It is this dual recognition, both of our smallness within the cosmos and our significance within it, that lends us the strength to face life's challenges. The view from above, as taught by Seneca, serves not only as a tool for coping with adversity, but also as a means of cultivating wisdom and balance in our approach to life's ups and downs. By adopting this perspective, we can come to view our personal struggles within the broader canvas of existence, finding solace and understanding even in the most challenging times. In applying the view from above, Seneca invites us not just to endure our troubles, but also to grow through them, recognizing that each challenge is an opportunity to deepen our wisdom and appreciation for life's grandeur. This perspective shift is more than a technique, it is a philosophy of resilience and growth. As Seneca's letters illustrate, the view from above is not merely about seeing our problems in isolation, but rather understanding them as part of a larger, interconnected whole. By adopting this perspective, we can cultivate an attitude that sees even the most difficult challenges as steps on our journey towards greater wisdom and self-understanding. In conclusion, Seneca's view from above offers us a powerful framework for managing adversity by shifting our perspective to see our troubles within the broader context of existence. This technique not only helps us cope with life's challenges, but also invites us to grow through them, finding meaning and wisdom even in the most trying times. By adopting this philosophical practice, we can come to view our personal struggles as fleeting moments within the vast expanse of eternity, gaining a deeper understanding of our place in the universe. This perspective shift is not just about endurance, but also about cultivating wisdom and resilience in the face of life's ups and downs. Ultimately, Seneca's view from above teaches us that by stepping back and considering our problems within the broader canvas of existence, we can find solace, understanding, and growth, even amidst life's most challenging moments. This philosophical practice is more than just a tool for coping. It is a pathway towards wisdom and self-understanding in the face of adversity. And so, as we navigate through life's challenges, we can find comfort and guidance in Seneca's wisdom. By adopting the view from above, we can cultivate an attitude that sees even our most difficult struggles as opportunities for growth and self-understanding. And with this wisdom, we can approach life's challenges with greater calm and balance, recognizing that even our most difficult struggles are part of a larger, more meaningful journey towards self-understanding and growth. May Seneca's view from above guide us on this path, offering comfort, resilience, and wisdom in the face of life's many ups and downs. One of the key practices he advocated was Premeditatio Malorum, a form of mental training that involved contemplating future adversities. One of the specific exercises he recommended was negative visualization. This involved imagining losing everything one holds dear. By doing so, Seneca argued that one could appreciate the things they have more deeply and be better prepared for their loss. Another practice he advocated was premeditation of loss. This involved reflecting on the impermanence of all things and accepting that change is a natural part of life. These practices were not just personal exercises, but deeply rooted in the core beliefs of Stoic philosophy. By understanding and accepting this material nature of the universe, Seneca believed that one could find inner peace. In this letter, Seneca shared that he had been practicing these mental training exercises himself. He wrote that these exercises have helped him deal with his own losses and grief. Through these mental training exercises, Seneca aimed to cultivate a mindset that was prepared and resilient. The concrete methods Seneca used in his daily routine included contemplating the loss of loved ones and imagining living with very little. These practices were not merely philosophical, but deeply practical and rooted in his personal experience. His life was marked by exile and political intrigue, yet he remained steadfast in his philosophical beliefs. One of Seneca's most profound techniques for managing emotions during adversity was Premeditatio Malorum, the practice of premeditating evil. Through this method, he would mentally prepare for the worst possible outcomes, ensuring that no matter what fate brought, he was ready. Seneca believed that by anticipating misfortune, he could maintain a level of emotional stability and resilience. In his letters to Lucilius, he often emphasized the importance of reason and logic in governing one's emotional responses. He argued that emotions are not inherently bad, but can become destructive if left unchecked. By applying reason and logic, one can navigate through adversity with a clear mind. In this letter, Seneca consoles Marullus after the loss of his son. He advises Marullus to find solace in the knowledge that his son's life was well lived and his memory will endure. This example shows how Seneca applied his principles of Premeditatio Malorum to manage emotional adversity. By preparing for the worst and relying on reason, Seneca demonstrated remarkable emotional control in the face of adversity. One of Seneca's key teachings is Memento Mori, which serves as a constant reminder of our mortality. This principle encourages us to live each day fully aware that death could come at any moment. Seneca advocates for the practice of Premeditatio Malorum, premeditating adversity to prepare oneself mentally and emotionally for inevitable hardships. He believed that by confronting the fear of death head-on, one can achieve a sense of tranquility and acceptance in life. To desensitize himself to the idea of death, Seneca would often retreat into darkness, imagining his own funeral and the void that would follow. These exercises, though grim, were part of Seneca's method to prepare for the ultimate adversity, death itself. Seneca's approach is not about denying death, but accepting it as a natural part of life's cycle. His philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts and actions in the present moment. By embracing Memento Moris and practicing Premeditatio Malorum, Seneca demonstrated remarkable emotional control in the face of death's inevitability, illustrating how these Stoic principles helped him confront the ultimate adversity, his own demise. His philosophy on wealth was deeply rooted in his belief that true happiness comes not from material possessions, but from the ability to live in harmony with nature. In Letter 99, a copy of an earlier letter to Marullus, whose son had passed away, Seneca emphasized the importance of mental preparation for adversity. Seneca advised Lucilius that the key to managing financial stress is not to avoid difficulties, but to prepare oneself for them mentally, a practice he called Premeditatio Malorum. He wrote, "Begin to think of what you have as already lost, a stark reminder to cultivate an attitude of detachment from material goods." This principle helps one accept financial setbacks with equanimity, understanding that the loss of wealth is not a reflection of personal worth or value. He advised Lucilius that wealth is like seawater. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. This metaphor highlights the futility of chasing material wealth for happiness. Seneca's practical advice goes beyond philosophy. He counseled Lucilius to live simply and within one's means. He believed that true wealth lies in contentment and the ability to find joy in simple pleasures. His teachings on financial hardship are as relevant today as they were in ancient Rome. Understanding and applying the principles of Premeditatio Malorum can help us navigate modern financial challenges with Stoic resilience. Seneca's approach to Stoicism is vividly illustrated through his philosophical dialogues, which serve as a practical guide for navigating adversity. Take the Ira, or On Anger. Here, Seneca employs a dialogue between Lucius Junius Gallio and Aurelius Cotta to explore the Stoic principle of controlling one's emotions. Gallio, Seneca's uncle and tutor, expresses his struggle with anger, a common human experience. Through Cotta's calm counsel, Seneca demonstrates the practice of Premeditatio Malorum, preparing for adversity mentally. Cotta advises Gallio to anticipate potential triggers and rehearse calm responses, a core Stoic strategy. In De Beneficiis, or On Favors, Seneca uses a dialogue between Abutius Liberalis and Aeneas Serenus to discuss the Stoic virtues of generosity and gratitude. Here, Serenus shares stories of generosity, highlighting the importance of giving without expecting anything in return. The dialogue underscores the Stoic belief that true virtue lies in acting for the sake of duty rather than personal gain. Finally, consider De Providentia, or On Foresight. This dialogue features a conversation between Seneca and Lucilius about the role of fate and fortune in our lives. Through this exchange, Seneca teaches the Stoic doctrine of accepting one's circumstances with equanimity, whether they are fortunate or adverse. He emphasizes the importance of Premeditatio Malorum, preparing for misfortune as a way to maintain mental composure in times of adversity. Thus, Seneca's philosophical dialogues not only illustrate Stoic principles, but also provide practical guidance on how to apply them in daily life. From his uncle's teachings, Seneca learned to embrace Premeditatio Malorum, a practice he emphasized in his work De Vita Beata, which translates to On the Happy Life. In this text, Seneca underscores the importance of preparing oneself for adversity as a means to achieve tranquility and resilience. He believes that by imagining future evils, one can develop a mental fortitude that allows them to face any challenge with equanimity. He argues that envisioning the worst-case scenarios helps to diminish their impact when they actually occur. This mental exercise serves as a form of inoculation against fear and anxiety, enabling individuals to remain calm under pressure. In De Vita Beata, Seneca writes, "We must imagine the worst that can happen and accept it calmly if it does." This approach is not about dwelling on negative thoughts, but rather using them to cultivate a sense of control over one's emotions. For Seneca, the practice of Premeditatio Malorum is integral to living a fulfilling life. By anticipating adversity, one can better appreciate moments of happiness and maintain a sense of balance amidst life's uncertainties. He argues that those who are prepared for the worst are less likely to be caught off guard by misfortune and more capable of navigating through challenging times with wisdom and courage. Thus, Premeditatio Malorum serves as a foundation for achieving a happy life according to Seneca's teachings. It transforms potential setbacks into opportunities for growth and resilience. In essence, by embracing the concept of Premeditatio Malorum, Seneca provides practical guidance on how to navigate the complexities of life with tranquility and resilience, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling existence. One of the key themes Seneca explored with Paulinus was the concept of Premeditatio Malorum, the practice of contemplating future adversities. This approach, Seneca believed, could fortify one against life's inevitable challenges and enhance resilience. In Letter 18, Seneca advises Paulinus on the wise use of wealth. He writes, "Do not imagine that the man who has a great deal of money is any more fortunate than the one who has just enough for his daily needs." This statement underscores Seneca's belief that true wealth lies not in abundance, but in contentment. He teaches Paulinus to envision scenarios where he might lose his riches, preparing him mentally for any potential adversity. In another letter, number 20, Seneca further elaborates on this principle. "Consider the worst that could happen," he writes. This preemptive thinking is not about fostering fear, but about developing a robust mindset ready for any eventuality. Seneca urges Paulinus to reflect on the transience of wealth and the fickleness of fortune concepts central to Stoic philosophy. This practice is not about living in constant dread, but about being mentally prepared for any turn of events. In Letter 59, Seneca delves deeper into the practical applications of Premeditatio Malorum. He suggests that Paulinus should periodically consider what it would be like to lose his wealth. This exercise helps in maintaining a balanced perspective and preventing over-reliance on material possessions. Through these letters, Seneca is not advocating for an ascetic life devoid of comforts, but for a balanced approach to wealth management. By contemplating potential misfortunes, Paulinus can appreciate what he has without being overwhelmed by the fear of loss. This practice of Premeditatio Malorum is not merely about surviving hard times, but thriving through them with equanimity and resilience. It teaches us to find solace in simplicity and to be grateful for what we have, even if it's modest. In essence, Seneca's advice to Paulinus is a blueprint for cultivating mental and emotional fortitude in the face of life's unpredictabilities. It is a reminder that true wealth lies not in abundance, but in preparedness and contentment. In De Constantia, a treatise on steadfastness, Seneca argues that true peace of mind comes from being prepared for the worst. He writes, "The greatest remedy for fear is to know what you fear. Understanding one's fears is the first step towards managing them." In another passage from De Tranquillitate Animis, Seneca notes that, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This reflects Seneca's belief in the power of mental preparedness. He suggests that by premeditating adversity, we can transform fear into a manageable challenge. Imagine a soldier training for battle. He doesn't focus on the victory celebration, but prepares for every possible setback during combat. This is not to say that one should live in fear or expect the worst at every turn. Instead, Seneca advocates for a balanced approach where one acknowledges potential challenges and uses that awareness to stay calm. In practical terms, this means visualizing setbacks in our minds, not as terrifying obstacles, but as solvable problems. By doing so, we can develop strategies to tackle these issues before they even arise. Seneca's writings are filled with such pragmatic advice that helps in cultivating a state of equanimity. In essence, the greatest harm is not from the adversity itself, but from our unfounded fear of it. By premeditating these future evils, we can bring clarity to our fears and confront them with a steadier mind. Seneca's philosophical dialogues and satires often return to this theme of mental readiness. They serve as a blueprint for cultivating mental and emotional fortitude in the face of life's unpredictabilities. Thus, true wealth lies not in abundance, but in preparedness and contentment. By embracing Premeditatio Malorum, we can achieve the Stoic ideal of equanimity, a state of calm and balance that allows us to face life's challenges with unwavering steadfastness. He compared this technique to a form of inoculation. Just as a vaccine protects the body from diseases by introducing small doses of pathogens, Seneca believed that mentally preparing for adversity can shield the mind from future shocks. The concept of inoculation was not just theoretical for Seneca, it was a practical method he used to navigate his own life. By imagining and mentally rehearsing potential adversities, he sought to build an inner fortitude that could withstand even the most challenging circumstances. In essence, Seneca's technique of mental inoculation deepens the practical application of Premeditatio Malorum. It provides a proactive way to prepare for adversity by cultivating resilience through consistent and careful contemplation. This approach allows individuals to face life's challenges with steadfastness, knowing that they have mentally rehearsed for such moments and are therefore better equipped to handle them when they occur. He believed that by contemplating future evils, one could better navigate uncertain times. In Letter 33, Seneca writes about the importance of having a reserve supply in case of shortages or crises. He argues that just as a wise general keeps a strategic reserve to deal with unexpected events on the battlefield, so too should we prepare for the uncertainties of life. This principle extends beyond just material goods. It applies to our character and thoughts as well. Seneca would often advise Lucilius to practice virtues in times of calm so that they become habits ready to be drawn upon during adversity. For example, he would suggest cultivating patience and fortitude during peaceful times, so that when trials come, these qualities are already deeply ingrained. A real-world application of this Stoic principle can be seen in financial planning or career choices. Setting aside a portion of income for unforeseen expenses, such as medical emergencies or job loss, mirrors Seneca's strategic reserve concept. Similarly, diversifying one's skill set and maintaining professional networks can serve as a mental and practical reserve for career stability. By preparing in advance, we fortify our ability to face adversity with equanimity, a core tenet of Premeditatio Malorum. Thorough preparation aligns with Seneca's philosophy and empowers us to meet challenges with calmness and resilience. He would often reflect on potential misfortunes and challenges that could arise in his life, preparing himself mentally for the worst-case scenarios. This period of isolation allowed him to delve deeper into his philosophical beliefs and refine his thoughts on Stoicism. He also practiced what he preached by maintaining a calm demeanor even in the face of great adversity. Seneca saw these moments of hardship as opportunities to strengthen his resolve and deepen his understanding of life's complexities. embracing the transformative power of adversity enhances the application of Premeditatio Malorum, making one more adaptable and resilient. These letters, a meticulous record of his daily routines and reflections, offer insight into how Seneca applied the Stoic principle of Premeditatio Malorum, or premeditation of adversity. In this letter, he emphasizes that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reaction to them. He writes, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult." This wisdom highlights Seneca's belief in the power of self-reflection and writing to navigate life's challenges. Another notable letter is 108, where he discusses the importance of mental fortitude in the face of physical ailments. He writes, "If you wish to be sure that you have made progress on the road to virtue, consider whether you would still maintain your composure if some great misfortune overtook you." These letters illustrate how Seneca used journaling as a tool for self-reflection and resilience, embodying the Stoic ideal of living according to nature. By documenting his thoughts and experiences, Seneca not only aided in his own personal growth, but also left behind a wealth of wisdom that continues to guide seekers of self-improvement today. This concept, deeply rooted in Stoicism, encourages individuals to anticipate and prepare for misfortune. It's about accepting that life is filled with uncertainties and challenges. Seneca saw living simply as a practical application of this philosophy. It was his belief that by stripping away excess, one could better focus on what truly matters. In his writings, Seneca advocates for a lifestyle devoid of unnecessary distractions and luxuries. He believed that simplicity allows one to be more resilient in the face of adversity. Consider the Stoic idea of euroia bio, which translates to the smooth flow of life. Seneca would argue that this flow is only possible when one has let go of material attachments and focuses on inner strength. He believed that living simply helps in preparing for and facing adversity. By not being attached to material possessions, one is better equipped to handle setbacks. Imagine losing everything you own in a calamity. If your sense of worth and identity are tied to your possessions, the loss can be devastating. But if you have cultivated a mindset of simplicity, the loss may still sting, but it won't define your worth or identity. Seneca would argue that living simply is a form of mental preparation for the inevitable challenges life throws at us. So, when adversity strikes, you're not caught off guard, but rather ready to face it head-on with the resilience that comes from a life of simplicity. In a sense, by choosing to live simply, Seneca was always prepared for whatever storms might come his way. To deepen this practice, Seneca used a technique called contemplative meditation. This wasn't about achieving a state of calm or mental stillness. Instead, Seneca would envision future adversities in vivid detail, imagining how they might unfold and the challenges they could pose. He writes, "We should not say that a bad thing has happened to him. Rather, we should say that something which happens to all has happened to him." This reflection shows how Seneca used contemplative meditation to prepare himself for the inevitable losses that life brings. But it's not just about loss. Seneca would also contemplate other forms of adversity. This contemplation aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control and accepting that which is not. In real life, Seneca's practice of Premeditatio Malorum helped him navigate the challenges he faced. He was exiled to Corsica by Caligula, forced to live in a small house with no comforts. But Seneca used this time to study philosophy and write, ultimately returning more resilient than ever. His contemplative meditation prepared him for the storms of life, helping him maintain his composure and wisdom in times of adversity. This approach to Premeditatio Malorum through contemplative meditation is something we can still learn from today, helping us face our own challenges with resilience and wisdom. Morning reflections were a cornerstone of his practice. Seneca would begin each day by contemplating the challenges and adversities that might lie ahead. These reflections served as a mental rehearsal for the day's potential obstacles. In the evening, Seneca would review his day, reflecting on how he handled the challenges and setbacks that had arisen. This practice of reviewing his actions was known as the Examen, a methodical self-assessment to improve resilience and wisdom. These letters were not just correspondence, but carefully crafted reflections on the application of Stoic philosophy in everyday life. Seneca's approach to integrating philosophy into his daily routine provides us with actionable insights on how to face adversity with resilience and wisdom. By adopting similar practices, we can prepare ourselves mentally for the challenges of each day and reflect on our actions to continuously improve. This integration of philosophy into daily life is a testament to Seneca's commitment to living according to nature, a core belief of Stoicism. Through his disciplined routine and thoughtful letters, Seneca demonstrates the practical application of Premeditatio Malorum in dealing with adversity. Marullus had lost his son, and in this letter, Seneca advises him on the importance of prosocial behavior during difficult times. Seneca writes, "You are a parent who has lost your child. You have experienced one of the most terrible things that can happen to any human being." He then encourages Marullus to reach out to others who have experienced similar losses. Seneca believed that helping others in their time of need not only benefits them, but also strengthens the helper's resilience. This practical application of Premeditatio Malorum demonstrates how prosocial behavior can enhance one's ability to handle adversity. One specific technique Seneca employed was the Premeditatio, where he would visualize himself facing various challenges. This mental exercise helped him to anticipate possible setbacks and formulate responses in advance. For instance, Seneca might envision losing his wealth or being exiled again as he was during the reign of Caligula. By rehearsing these scenarios in his mind, he could better prepare himself emotionally and mentally for such events. Upon returning to Rome, Seneca continued his practice of Premeditatio Malorum. He used this technique to prepare for the political and personal challenges he would face as a statesman and tutor to Nero. Through these practices, Seneca demonstrated the practical application of Premeditatio Malorum. His philosophical therapy was not just about intellectual contemplation, but also about preparing oneself emotionally and mentally for the adversities life might throw at us. This proactive approach to dealing with potential misfortunes is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes living in accordance with nature and focusing on the things within our control. In this letter, Seneca suggests that by imagining the worst that could happen, we develop a deeper understanding and gratitude for what we have now. He writes, "You must prepare your mind as if it were going into battle." His philosophy taught him to see exile not as punishment, but as an opportunity to cultivate inner strength and mental discipline. This practice was not just a theoretical exercise, but a way of life. Seneca believed that by repeatedly envisioning adversity, he could inoculate himself against fear and maintain a steadfast composure. In the end, Seneca's approach to mental fortitude through Premeditatio Malorum is a powerful reminder of the resilience that can be cultivated by proactively facing our fears and preparing for adversity. Amidst the vast expanse of his philosophical works, Seneca's use of contemplative imageries stands out. This practice involves vividly imagining future adversities to prepare for them with calm detachment. One such letter delves into the concept of Premeditatio Malorum, which translates to premeditation of adversity. Here, Seneca advises Lucilius to visualize being exiled or losing wealth not with fear but with acceptance. This exercise aims to train the mind to meet challenges head-on without being overwhelmed. Seneca believes that by mentally rehearsing such scenarios, one can face real adversity with greater fortitude. His philosophical drills often involve imagining the worst-case scenario as a means of cultivating resilience. By doing so, one can better navigate through life's inevitable challenges with calm and composure. The essence of contemplative imagery lies in its ability to transform potential hardships into manageable thoughts. He compares life to a military campaign, suggesting we should always expect the worst. This Stoic dramatization prepares us for the reality of adversity. Seneca writes that if we imagine our children dying, the shock will be less severe when it happens. This isn't about inviting tragedy, but being prepared for life's harsh realities. In Letter 1-4, Seneca writes to Lucilius, "Everything can be taken from us except how we react." He advocates for focusing on our control over responses rather than the events themselves. By imagining these scenarios, Seneca believes we can develop resilience and maintain calm in the face of adversity. He sees this as a practical application of Premeditatio Malorum. These letters illustrate Seneca's approach: accept the reality of misfortune and prepare for it mentally. This practice deepens our understanding of adversity and prepares us to handle it calmly. Seneca believed that by envisioning potential misfortunes, one could mentally rehearse how to handle them with composure when they actually occur. This practice is known as prospective meditation, a form of mental preparation that differs from negative visualization, which focuses on the avoidance of negative outcomes. He advises Lucilius to think upon your last days and consider how transient life is. By doing so, one can learn to value each moment more deeply and be less shaken by misfortune. In another letter, Seneca suggests imagining that you have already lost everything you hold dear. This exercise helps in detaching from material possessions and preparing the mind for potential loss. Seneca's approach to adversity thus involves a proactive preparation, not just passive acceptance. By engaging in prospective meditation, we can deepen our understanding of misfortune and be better equipped to handle it with calmness. In another letter, Seneca provided an example of this practice by discussing the concept of fire drills, not for actual fires, but for the metaphorical ones that life can throw at us. He suggested that by regularly rehearsing how to respond to hypothetical disasters, we can build a robust mental framework for resilience. The philosopher emphasized that the goal of this contemplative practice is not to create anxiety, but rather to instill a sense of tranquility and control. By anticipating potential challenges, we can approach them with a clearer mind and a steadier heart. In essence, Seneca's use of prolepsis is about training the mind to be prepared for any eventuality without being paralyzed by fear. It is a practical tool within Stoic philosophy that enhances resilience and emotional preparation. By understanding and applying the principle of Premeditatio Malorum, we can cultivate a mindset that is resilient and capable of navigating even the most difficult circumstances with grace. As Seneca himself wrote, we should every night call ourselves to account, what infirmity have I blamed on the day? What has been wrong with my disposition? Anger or fear? This regular self-reflection is crucial for maintaining our mental equilibrium and emotional readiness. By integrating prolepsis into our daily routines, we can be better prepared for the inevitable challenges that life presents, and thus live in accordance with nature, as Stoicism teaches.